So 1 year ago in March of 2021, I decided to start a brand new business with a completely new product in a completely new market and launch it from scratch, bootstrapping. I started with $1,400 in investment. I only bought 200 units and I made over $300,000 since I started the business. And obviously that was revenue, not profit. So stick around for this video and I'll show you exactly how much I profited from that. Hey, how's it going, guys? Yaniv here. And this isn't my first year selling on Amazon. This is just a 1 year period because actually I started selling on Amazon back in 2017. And since then, I've actually been lucky enough to have, some success on Amazon and been able to have bigger and bigger budgets every time that I launch new brands, new businesses, on the platform. But as the years went on, I started to realize, obviously, things are changing, and year by year, things get more complicated and less complicated. You have better tools, but it also costs more, and everything going on in the world as well was kind of making me realize that it wasn't the same business I started in 2017. So last year, I decided to completely start from scratch with a super low budget of $1,400 and to see if I could really start a business on kind of like a bootstrap budget. So last year in March of 21, I launched a completely new product into the market with a super low budget. And I've been documenting the journey ever since then on the channel. I'll put a playlist in the description if you want to catch up on some of the other kind of, documented videos that I've made along the process to see how it has kind of scaled from there. And obviously there have been lots of upsides, lots of downsides. And, it's basically just how business is, and especially how businesses, working kind of under the Amazon umbrella, which we'll get into a little bit in this video. But there have been definitely some downsides. And I think without those downsides, we probably would have hit, well over $500,000 in the first year. So enough of that though. Let's dive into the video and I'll share with you my 1 year results, get into the PPC stuff, get into the profit margins and really, take you, pull back the curtains and take you behind the scenes. All right, so now we're behind the scenes in the seller central business reports. And obviously this is actually private label. So I never dove deep into, retail arbitrage, wholesale, anything like that. This is purely private label business. And that's generally what I talk about on the channel too. So as you can see here, this is from March 1st to March 31st. This is the first month ever that we sold. I can even go back to show you that there's nothing before then. I'll just press apply there. And you can see there's nothing before then. This, basically where we first started. So March 1st to March 31st. And we made, just over $6,000, which allowed us to start reinvesting into the business. Well, I'm not going to go through month by month because you can watch the other updates in the videos to see that. But essentially, a few months in, we did, we were at 71,000. As you can see, everything is kind of going up. This is when we ran out of stock. And if you go back a few more, or forward a little bit longer, you can see 141,000. And if we go to March of this year, you can see that we've done, here it shows 289,000, but we actually did over 300,000. I'll explain that in a second. But as you can see too, there's a lot of peaks and troughs and peaks, and you can see there's also these giant periods here and here. And now here, where you're seeing huge declines in sales. And there's actually reasons for that. It's not that we went out of stock. Actually, it was dealing with Amazon itself, who was basically sabotaging the business. I'm not going to go too much into it in this video. For those of you in my e-com Limitless program who attend the live calls, I've talked about it, there before, about what's happening with my products. And but I will be making a video in the future. I will talk about some of the struggles that I faced with Amazon and how they have been sabotaging me for a long time. Hopefully now, though, those things are behind me and we'll be able to move forward and start to re-rank the products and do that. Because if this didn't happen, when this was happening, this was actually in November. November, right before Black Friday, Cyber Monday, all that kind of stuff, where probably here we would have been making another, it was like around $2,000 a day for over a month here, and then another period here, which we would have been making probably 1,000 to 2,000 as well. So just a whole shit show essentially. Stick around for that video if you want to see it. Just subscribe to the channel so you don't miss it. But essentially here you can see we've sold over almost 14,000 units, $300,000 in sales. But like I said, this is just the revenue, right? So what is the profit on this? And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take you guys into a software called Sellerize. I use this software, they do a lot of stuff, but I use this software generally for their, financial, breakdown stuff. I really like it. There is quite a discrepancy in the sales here and the sales here. I actually reached out to Sellerize to figure that out before. They gave me some answer that they take into account more of the sales that Amazon doesn't take into account for some of the sales. I'm not quite sure, but essentially, $300,000. I have the actual figures in accounting and stuff like that, but I need to, I didn't go through all that stuff yet. So this is just kind of a general overview. Let's assume $300,000 in sales, all right? Because also there's Adtomic, and Adtomic shows, 309,000 in sales. So they're all over the place there, right? To get an actual number, I have to go into the accounting. But let's assume $300,000 in sales. From that, we had about $86,000 in net profits, and we had an ROI of 100%. And margin of 27.4%. Now this includes literally everything that this product has required, right? So this is post everything, 100% ROI, 27.4% margin. I think that's also why this product was so easy for us to scale, because a lot of the times people look for products that start off, when you're doing the Helium 10 calculator, it shows 100% ROI, 27.4% margin, and then you don't realize that there's going to be other expenses in the business that you're going to need to spend that are like outside of those initial like COGS, cost of goods that you're going to have. There's other expenses that are going to come and bring down this margin. So this is the real margin that we're using, and I think this is a very, very healthy margin for an e-commerce business. If you can get anything around this, you're golden. So I'm going to show you a couple things here just to explain to you too about what kind of products I was offering and how each one of those was doing. So essentially we started with this product right here, which is $243,000. Did $243,000 of the $315,000 on Sellerize. So you can obviously tell this is a 80% of the sales, right, from one product. Essentially how all businesses really are. You have one main kind of product. And as you can see too, I just noticed here all these critical alerts, right? These are all in the last 7 days. You can see that basically on every product I've had this. And again, I'll explain all of that in the next video if you want to check that out. So I'll also, if that video is already out, I'll leave it in the description for you guys to see. But yeah, $243,000, $67,000 net profit from that one product. You can see all the breakdowns per product here on each product. These actually are the exact same products. They just have different color schemes. All right, so you can see different profits on each of them, different sales on each of them, and how many ordered units, of each. So we had here, 9 products that you can sell. We have one of them that's actually a different product, which is this one. We launched a different product as well, and it's not doing nearly as hot as the other ones. But again, not every product you're going to launch is going to be a winner, right? So you can have one winner and then one dud. And now we're kind of here just trying to sell out of this product. It's still, making a profit, $440 in profit, which is not bad. But obviously, the time investment and the amount of work that was put into that, you're hoping for, a bigger return. So essentially, if you do everything right, with any product that you launch, you should be able to, break even or profit slightly if you're doing it right. So that's what we're going to be doing here. Just slowly sell out of these units, make a small profit, and move on to the next thing. And as you can see, basically in 1 year, $86,000 of profit was made. Now, this is the breakdown for the 1 year period, but I also want to show you, like I said, the PPC stuff and explain to you, how the PPC kind of works into this as well. So we're going to go into Helium 10's Adtomic here. I love Adtomic. It's like a really awesome way to, automate and also manage your PPC campaigns. It does require a really expensive, it's a really expensive service from Helium 10, so I don't recommend most people get this just because it's just way too expensive. But it is awesome if you have the money. So as you can see here, I'm going to probably blur these out, but this is over the course of the year. Some of these are, some of the highest ACoS campaigns, some of the highest keywords for those campaigns. But that's irrelevant because those were always optimized. So as total, you can see over the whole or over the whole year we spent $11,000 in PPC, which really for $300,000 dollars in profit is literally nothing. But we always ran into problems with stock, so we never had enough stock to be able to be able to spend so much on PPC, because I didn't want to take so much outside money, like my outside money, to invest into scaling this business. I just wanted to keep reinvesting the profits and show you guys that it's possible to reinvest the profits in a business and still scale it like crazy if you know what you're doing, right? So that's why we never really had enough money to put into PPC. So we spent 11,000, made 23,000 in sales, and 47% ACOS, for a total advertising ACOS, which isn't great, but the way I look at PPC and the way I work with PPCs, the break even we said was 27.4%. So ideally, what we're aiming for here, we said 30% plus 15% would be 45% ACOS. So what we were aiming for, what we were optimizing for was 45% ACOS and below, because PPC draws organic traffic. And you can see that because our total ACOS is 3.63%, which means we had a ton of sales coming from organic sales. And so that's why I always say, it's not about with your PPC making it profitable. You want to have it at whatever your break-even ACOS is. So let's say your ROI is, or not ROI, your profit margin is 27% like mine. What you would do is you do 27% plus 15%, and that's the range that you want to play with, right? So our total ACOS super low. Ideally, if we had the inventory to play around with this, I would have tried to get to 10% to 20% of sales on your tacos. Around 10%, 12% is great. That's like ideal. But we only had 3.63%. Like I said here too, it shows 309,000. I'm really not quite sure what all this discrepancy is about, but assume about $300,000 in sales. So this is kind of the little breakdown of 1 year. I've learned a ton doing this from scratch again. Like when I started back in 2017, since then I've always been using, reinvesting money from my businesses into there, right? Other successful brands, to grow new businesses. But with this, I just wanted to leave all the outside money, out of it and start reinvesting like I would if I had just been starting in 2021. I also did this during, the pandemic and also during, super high shipping costs and stuff like that. And, we were still able to make it happen. So I think that obviously it's possible. Everyone knows it's possible. It is hard. It is going to take a lot of time. But the most important thing is finding the right product and also branding it and differentiating it in the right ways. Like I mentioned in a lot of the other videos that, in the playlist about this business, the differentiation and the branding was really the key play in growing this business. You can see here too, all the different breakdowns. You can see the sales, each product sales. You can see the promotions. You can see the taxes, FBA fees, referral fees, PPC spend, refunds. You can see all sorts of stuff, right? And that's all the expenses put together, 27.4% profit. Thank you guys so much for watching. By no means is this something to brag about. This is just to inspire those of you out there who are maybe struggling or who are just starting this journey. It's still possible. You can still do it. And I hope to see some of your success soon. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.